what has to happen in the OSS-BSS environment. On the IT side, the BSS side has been focused constantly on what we need to be doing in business systems, and certainly on the OSS side, the network has its own world. Increasingly, as we're moving things forward, we see this swivel chair in our own organization as software that feeds both the IT environment for BSS and the IT environment for OSS needs to integrate further, not only as we look at financial movement that has to take place from the supply-demand chain, but also from network provisioning so that we're able to give exactly those on-demand dynamic services in the network. And even that is still very, very, very refined in a limited manner in terms of where we want to go. The aspirational level that we have in this regard is huge and significant. And so we have to go to a stage where we will start to rebuild, and we already have begun that, some of our IT systems with new architecture. The legacy development, some of our IT 20 years old or 20 years old or more is in a structure that if we don't start to change that immediately, we'll be in a bit of a pickle, so to speak. We need to make sure that we can start to deploy an orchestration layer exactly as has been described in the three document that some of you may have read already. And we need to make sure that we're headed first and foremost, a single next step, to assure that we can get to some self-provisioning capability of that environment. And then we want to take that self-provisioning capability that we have in our own network, and we want to make sure that we can extend that to another network. It's one thing today, in an international environment, if we were to develop and deploy capability just in our own network. But if we're not creating the roadmap and the rule base for interconnecting with others, we'll be left alone in this market. We're not large enough, at least in our environment. And so therefore we need to make sure that we're cooperating and collaborating. And quite frankly, if the vision that has been set forward in MEF today looks at anyone, anywhere on the globe with any service, it cannot happen with one single ecosystem. It cannot happen with one single company doing it, at least not in today's financial parameters. Therefore, it would be absolutely necessary to create the structures for e-bonding, even for pricing, for service provisioning, and ultimately for drag and drop self-provisioning, whatever it may be, and that NNI network orchestration structure is there. Once that's done, if you can integrate with one service provider, then you can certainly do it with more. You can create an environment of a federation, and we've been talking about cloud confederation between ourselves and other service providers, and even testing that, and I'll show you in just a second a little bit of a slide. Once you've built your own capability and created the environment that you can interconnect with one carrier, you can then go to the next and start to make sure that that element mushrooms. But at the same time, you need to be managing that legacy piece underneath and assuring that step by step you're getting to that environment.